All right, guys. So I'm Josh, a senior computer science major with a double minor in mathematics and cybersecurity. We're gonna start this tour off here at Dyson Hall, which is right behind me. So let's actually get a look inside and follow me right this way. All right, guys, so we're actually right into Dyson Hall. This is basically your science lab here. You'll at least see yourself here in this hall at least once in your entire PACE career, because it is required that every PACE student takes at least one science. So this is where all the labs are held. So basically, if you got your chem, your bio, or your physics labs, they're all here. This lab was actually just renovated with the $7.5 million grant. So all the labs in here are basically top of the line equipment. Cool thing about our labs too is that they're never taught by a teaching assistant or a student aide. It's always taught by a professor. So you know someone who is in the lab with you knows how the equipment works. As you can see right here, you can actually get a little sneak peek preview of some of the people who are in our biology department here. So you may have these professors depending on what science you take. Also, a lot of our students here like to partner up with professors, so they actually get to become either lab technicians, or they actually get hands-on experience as a lab research student. They actually get to sometimes be published at some science conferences. Some of the cool things that we do have here for research opportunities is cell regeneration, also pancreatic cells, and suppression tumor for tree frogs. As you can see right through here, this is actually one of the labs that the students use for research opportunities. If you follow me right through here as we keep walking, you can see some of the charts that they do have up here for students to be able to recognize and remember before they go into a lab or anything. It's really sciencey. I love it. So we're actually going to keep walking through this way. You do have another one to where, as you can see, it's only authorized personnel only. So if it's only you, a professor, and the research opportunities, you do have that. We're going to go right through this way. And right through here, actually, is what one of the actual science labs would look like here as a regular PACE student. As you can see, you have everything that you're ever going to need for an actual lab, so you never have to worry about the equipment not working or anything. And that's all I got for Dyson, so we're going to pass it up to Upstairs Castle.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley. I'm a sophomore applied psychology and human relations major with a minor in sociology, and I'm from Danbury, Connecticut. I'm going to be showing you around Upstairs Castle. There's a lot to get through, so let's get started. First, I'm going to be showing you Student Development and Campus Activities, or SDCA. They oversee all over 100 of our clubs and organizations on campus. If an interest of yours isn't currently being represented, you, 5 friends, and a faculty advisor can get together and start your own club, which is great because you can personalize your PACE experience to you and leave your footprint on the university. Next, we have our Boudreaux Lounge. There's some different seating and lounge areas in here. This is great for commuters if they want to hang out in between their classes, or if you just want to grab a bite to eat and study up here, that's perfectly fine as well. Next to that, we have SGA, Student Government Association. They run very similarly to the way your student governments may run in high school. It's essentially a group of students elected by students that work for the students. They work directly with administration to get things done on campus. And finally, we have a subsection of offices over here, one being our Pforzheimer Honors College. So when you apply to PACE, you are automatically being considered for the Honors College, but don't worry, if you don't get in your first year with admission, if you maintain a 3.5 GPA or higher during your first year, you can reapply for your sophomore year, which is pretty cool. We also have Study Abroad and the LGBTQA+ Center right next to that, which is run by Rachel Simon. You'll be hearing more about Downstairs Castle later on, but for now, we're heading over to Goldstein Fitness Center.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm a senior childhood education major concentrating in mathematics, and I'm from New York. Right now, we are in our Goldstein Fitness Center. Behind me is our dog pound. This is our gymnasium. Inside of there, we have our full-size basketball court that can be broken up into smaller courts depending on the sport that we're playing. In here, we host our basketball team as well as our volleyball team. We also have intramural sports in our gym. Above our gymnasium, we have our raised track that is about 8.5 laps to a mile. It's a really nice way to get a workout in if you can't stay for a full-on workout, and it's also just a nice way to get some exercise. So we're going to be heading through these double doors, and as we do, we're going to pan around the hallway where you'll be able to see pictures of current student athletes. These pictures are replaced every couple of years to make sure that current student athletes are being showcased. And as you can see, we showcase every single sport that we have. We also have our wonderful mascot T-Bone up on the wall. This way that we show our support for our student athletes. The really cool thing about PACE University is that all home games are free for PACE students. So besides the fact that we love to come and support our student athletes during their games, we get to go for free. So there's really no reason why we shouldn't go. Right over here is Pace Fit, one of 5 student-run businesses on campus. Pace Fit is here specifically to remind us about the healthy snack options that we could have before, after, and during our workout. The really cool thing about them is they take flex, which is part of your meal plan, and so there's really no reason not to come here and grab that healthy smoothie. Right down this way, we have our workout area. Through these double doors and through this pre-workout room, we do have our weight room. In there, we have all different kinds of machinery for all different kinds of workouts. In the center of that room, we have a smaller area called the fishbowl, where people who work at the gym are here to help us work out. They'll teach you how to properly use machines, as well as what machines you should use for different legs, like arm day or leg day. In addition to that, student athletes have their own private workout space where they work out as a team in the INL field house. So here it's really for non-student athletes. That being said, student athletes are also more than welcome to use this space. The reason why we say that though is because we like to keep ourselves separate, so this way we can all have our own space to work out and no one feels pressured by having other people around them. In addition to that, right here in the pre-workout space, there's plenty of space for you to do yoga, stretch, use some of those machines right there in the pre-workout to get your body nimble and ready for a big, hard workout. Right over here this way, we have our aerobics room. Our aerobics room is super awesome. It is used by our gents and tier squad. This way they can practice. It is also home to yoga classes, Zumba classes, and other kind of fitness courses throughout the entire school year. We're gonna head back through this hallway. Up next, we're gonna show you our junior size Olympic swimming pool. This pool is open to all students as long as the gym is open, as long as the swim and diving team are not using it. That being said, we also host a bunch of student events in there. I know every year we have a beach party, and so it's a lot of fun to go out in there and hang out with your friends in the pool and just relax. This way.
Hello everybody, my name is Grainne and I am a junior nursing major in the Fort Somers Honors College. And here we are outside Goldstein Fitness Center right next to our DJ Henry Memorial Clock Tower. DJ Henry was a well-loved and respected football player here on our Pleasantville campus. And sadly, on October 17th, 2010, DJ's life was tragically cut short on an off-campus shooting on homecoming night. DJ's life really had an impact on our campus, and his death even so much more. Every semester and every year, DJ's life is memorialized in a multitude of different events sponsored by a ton of different clubs, including our Student Government Association. Not only were these clubs and organizations established to help memorialize and increase DJ Henry's life, but this clock tower was here and built to memorialize his name and his legacy on our campus. The only number on the clock is the number 12, in honor of DJ Henry's jersey number on the football team. Every year, this clock is being memorialized not only in football games, but on our campus through a bunch of different multitude of events. This clock was actually fundraised by not only our Student Government Association, but also that donation was matched by our former president here at Pace University. Every semester, we have not only opportunities to recognize DJ, but also his family established a DJ Henry Dream Fund to not only establish funds and scholarships for prospering student athletes, but to establish for them to get their dreams to become true in honor of DJ Henry's life. Now we're going to go on to our next stop.
What's going on? My name is Mike. I'm a junior digital cinema and filmmaking major with a philosophy minor here at Pace. Right now I'm on the bottom floor of Wilcox and we're going to take you through the building. We're right next to Pecker Lecture Hall here. This is one of our 2 lecture halls on campus. Most of the time you won't have a class in this kind of lecture hall style unless you are in a nursing class or some higher level science course where there's a lot of students that all need the same information. And most of the time, if you're going to be in here as an average student, you'll be in here for an event or some sort of conference. Next, we're going to move on down towards the Media Communications and Visual Arts Department, or the MCVA department. This is kind of where I call home at Pace as a film student. Right through here, you can see one of our math labs. These labs have computers which are equipped with all different kinds of editing software, Avid, Premiere Pro, all of that stuff. And through these doors here is the real meat of the Media Communications and Visual Arts Department, where it's got our media lab and a couple more of those Mac labs you just saw. In there, students can rent out lighting equipment, sound equipment, cameras, anything they need to complete whatever projects, whether it's for school or for a personal project. and it's all open to students no matter what they need. So next we're going to head over to our campus bus stop. Our campus has a shuttle that runs every 30 minutes into the town of Pleasantville and into the town of Thornwood, which is right next to the town of Pleasantville. And 4 times a day it will run into the White Plains and New York City campus. So if you wanted to take a class in the city, that's totally an option for you. You just come right out here and wait for the bus. Next, we're going to head upstairs to the ITS help desk and the technical support offices. This is where you go if you have any problems with any PACE programs you have, your portal, your Blackboard, your email, anything like that. Or if you have any software or programs you need to download for a certain class, you would just head over this way, and in there is a computer lab and some printers that you could use. Next, we're going to end this off by heading up to meet one of my professors and one of the heads of the communications department, Dr. Paul Ziek. He is a great mentor and a real kind of symbol of what a lot of the PACE faculty here are. He'll help you out. He's been there a lot to give me advice or, check over work if I'm doing it. And today we're going to be able to see him and another professor, Dr. Grainne, take us through a little demo of what it's like to be a communication student here at PACE. So we're going to head down here to our TV production studio, which students are also allowed to rent out as long as they are not a classmate at the current time. So we're just going to head in here and talk to Paul. Back on the top floor of Wilcox Hall, we're right now in one of our production studios here, and we're with Paul Ziek, who's one of the heads of the communications department, and he's going to give us a little presentation.
Thanks, Mike. You're the best. Welcome, everyone. My name is Paul Ziek. I'm the department chair, Media, Communication, Visual Arts. Within the department, we have 4 majors: communication, public relations, digital cinema and filmmaking, and digital journalism. Michael is a digital cinema and filmmaking, yes. Every major that we have is hands-on. Even the minors that we have, which are public relations, integrated marketing, communication, and an art minor, they're all hands-on. In other words, we believe fully in the idea of what they call experiential learning theory, where you learn through doing and then you reflect upon that doing. So in a minute, I'm going to kick you over to Professor Lou Bornieri, who's one of our filmmakers, and he'll take you through kind of a really quick lesson on what we would do in class. This is one of our studios. We have several of these. You want to take a gander around? All of our spaces are interdisciplinary. So you might come in here and take a lighting class, which you could use on the grid. Professor Grainne is a lighting expert. You might come in here as a public relations student and work on press conferences where we actually put you in the front of the room. We put the lights on you. We ask the journalists to come in and they ask you questions live on press conference. Journalism might come in here and they might work through some interviewing techniques with people on camera, or we have a recording studio downstairs that looks very similar to this. We also have a television studio downstairs, which is a traditional 3-camera setup with a TriCaster in the back. We thought that this would be a really great spot to show you. Professor Bene pulls some of this stuff out and go over it. The most important element that I want you to realize as we kind of go through this is that this starts from day one and it's experiential. So as an example, Professor Grainne is going to teach what we call media production this semester. It's a first-year class for first-year students, and it is a basic production class where it is not theory-driven. He brings in equipment and says, here we go. Today we're going to learn about sound. Here are the microphones, and let's go. And that happens in every major. So if you take an introduction to public relations class, same thing. Professor Magus teaches it, Professor Jennifer Magus, who is a converted public relations professional, which is another thing that I'll bring up in a second. The first day you walk in, she says, all right, here's the basics of what we're going to be learning over the semester, and this is how we're going to do it. She brings in clients. You work for the department. You work and you actually develop public relations campaigns, which is another important thing I want to bring up to you, is that every faculty member in the department is a converted academic. In other words, Professor Grainne worked at A&E for years, and I worked in the communication industry as well. We all came to academia late, so we all have that basic experience of what it's like to actually go to work every day creating and being media makers. So I'm going to kick it over to Lou for a few minutes, and he'll show you kind of an example.
Cool. How's it going? My name is Lou Bornieri. I'm one of the film professors on campus. I handle a lot of the hands-on video production stuff. So we tend to break things down a little bit based on production and post-production. There are classes that focus on filmmaking. There are classes that focus on editing and the post-production workflows associated with it. When you're in my classes, you're going to spend a lot of time in this classroom. I feel like this is a second home for me because almost every class I teach is in here. And what we do in here is basically we make films. So as a group, the whole class, we will work together on a film. And then at the end of the semester, you guys work on your own film. So in a lot of ways, rather than just a lecture, we are together as a production unit. And you guys are learning as we are making something. And those films that you guys make will be yours for your reel, for your portfolio, your resume, whatever the case may be. You can take what we've made here and move it into the real world. We have all sorts of cinema cameras like this one. This is the Sony FS5. And you guys will be able to get hands-on with cameras like this. We do have other cameras here as well as all sorts of lighting equipment, including the grid, like Paul mentioned. These are all at your disposal. So when you guys want to make a production, you guys can use a space like this. You can use the green screen wall over there. We have all sorts of stuff that would be on the level of an actual TV or movie production at your disposal whenever you want. That's about it.
Thanks, Lou. So that's a good example. That's one of our 4 majors. So each major is basically set up the same way, experiential and hands-on. A couple points that I wanted to bring up. When I mean we take this experiential thing, it's important, I mean it's important. So you are required here to take an internship. You're required to take at least 1 internship, and we have students that average at least 2 or 3 internships per their 4 years here. Our internships vary from anything that's related to what you want, and they vary. And I'm sure you've all heard this. Our career services, this is great. We've had people intern everywhere from NBC to Major League Baseball to the New York Mets. In fact, we have a new sports broadcasting and media minor. We had a panel this week, and one of the panelists just won her first Emmy for the Major League Baseball, literally 3 days ago. She started interning there, and then it worked over to a job. The internship is really important because it takes what you learn in the classroom and it puts it into even more realistic perspective. So we take it very seriously. And we start working with you very quickly on where you want to be placed in your internships. With that being said, another cool thing within the department is that everyone gets assigned to a faculty as an advisor. So it's a faculty advisor. Now, students can pick, but what we ask you to do is pick who kind of you fall in line with that would really interest you and further what you want to do, further you on your path. So we have faculty that are really dedicated to documentary work. So if you're interested in documentary storytelling, you go there. We have one faculty that spent 10 years on NPR radio. She's a radio expert. If you're interested in radio and mediated journalism, you would kind of revolve towards Professor Fink. The idea here is that we want you to really get invested in the work. We really want you to experience everything there is to PACE. And I say this all the time. I even say this during the academic expectations. There are enormous opportunities here at PACE, and you should follow them. You should take them. If you find an interest in something, that you should definitely go there. And this department will attest to that because it's all interdisciplinary, which is kind of what I'll end with. In other words, if you're a filmmaking student and you find that we have a drones class, it's an actual drones class where we have FAA certified drones instructors who take you out and teach you how to fly drones and then teach you how to, they pass the test. It's actually taught by a journalism faculty member, but if you're interested in making media out of drones, you could cross over and take that class. Or if you want to take, how about this? If you're a public relations student who loves horror films, Professor Grainne teaches a producing the horror class where he actually makes a horror for the semester. But remember, there are all these elements that go into media making. So it's not just making the film, it's getting people to watch it, right? So there's a PR aspect, so PR students might want to take that. So we're very interdisciplinary and very hands-on. And it's really you shaping up your education, right, for what you want it to be. Michael, did I miss anything?
No, that was absolutely.
Any questions you have for me?
No, I think I'm all set. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, I'm Emily. I'm a junior digital cinema and filmmaking major from Torrington, Connecticut, and I'm coming to you from my room in Elm Hall to tell you about Alumni Hall, which is our residence hall for first-year students. So because people are moving into Alumni today, we are unfortunately not able to get in there to show off a room, but Elm Hall is the sister building to Alumni, so your suite will be set up exactly like my suite. So Alumni is a co-ed style suite setup building. There are going to be 5 people to a suite with 1 double room and 1 triple room per suite. Around the corner here, you're going to see that we have a double vanity sink. And then right through this door here, we have a toilet room. And then on the other side here, we do have a separate shower room. So right through here is going to be the double room, which is my room. So everything wooden in here is provided by the university. So the wardrobes, the drawer sets, the bed, the desk, and the chairs are all provided by the university. Right next door is the triple room, and it has all the same furniture as the double room, except instead of these desks here, you have rolling desks that you can push up to your bed so you can do your work while you're in bed. So the cool thing about Alumni Hall is that we have these things called FIGs, or first year interest groups. There are 7 of them, and they each line up to a different interest, such as movies or sports. And at orientation, you get to pick which FIG you want to be in, and that determines where in the building you live. So everybody in your hallway, your suite, even your room will have that interest in common with you right off the bat. On each floor, we have 2 study lounges and 2 FIG lounges, or social lounges. And RAs like to hold events in these FIG lounges that cater to the interests of the FIG, so that they can help encourage you get out of your room and meet more people. Also on each floor, we have a kitchen and laundry room in the same room, and laundry is free. Right downstairs in Alumni, we do have a Starbucks that does take your meal plan, so no out-of-pocket money needed there, and a 24/7 security desk. Security does do sweeps of the campus multiple times a day to make sure that everybody is safe. And lastly, right behind Alumni, we have one of our many parking lots. First-year students can unfortunately not park on campus unless they are a commuter. However, from your sophomore year on, you are able to park on campus for free, so long as you register your vehicle with security, which is also free. So that's going to be it for Alumni Hall. So now we are going to pass it off to the next stop.
Hey guys, my name is Daniela and I'm a junior nursing major here at Pace. Behind me you can see the INL Fieldhouse, which is home to most of our student athletes here on campus. What's inside is our locker rooms, our athletic trainers, and our weight room. As you can see behind me, this is our largest multi-purpose field that hosts a lot of different events on campus. But mostly we have a lot of sports games on here, and the teams that play on this largest field is our football team, our soccer team, and our men's and women's lacrosse. Behind that, we have another field for our field hockey team and our baseball team, and softball has their own field as well. That's about it for here. Passing off to the next stop.
Hey guys, my name is David. I am a criminal justice major from Oradell, New Jersey, and we are here in Mortola Library. There's a library on campus. It's absolutely amazing. First things first, we work off a stoplight system. If you want to come over here and take a look at that. We have a green, yellow, and red zone, each corresponding to a different part of the library. And right now we are on the green zone. This means we can have casual conversations. I can talk like this. I'm not going to get yelled at. There's a bunch of cool stuff going on here. So you want to look over to our left. We have our reference desk. These are where our librarians are. Don't worry, they're not like from the movies. They're super nice. They'll help you out with anything. When I got here, I really didn't know how to cite APA, which a lot of professors require. Talk to them and they set me up with everything I needed. If you need to look for resources, academic journals, anything you need for your classes, they are the go-to people. And we have a new program where you can actually ask them questions directly from your laptop. So if you don't want to leave your room, you can just do it right from there. To the right of them is Access Services. This is where you'll get your books, but it's also where you can rent out things like laptops, calculators. I remember freshman year, my friend spilled coffee all over her laptop, and while she was getting it repaired, she was able to rent a laptop every day for her class so she wasn't falling behind. Over to my right, we have PaySmart. This is one of our student-run businesses on campus. It is exclusive for business majors to work there. It's part of they can get an internship there, they can make money there. It is completely run by the students. They staff it, they do the hiring, the firing, the inventory. It's a great experience. It looks great on our resume. And that being said, Pay students, of course, can use it if you're ever looking for the best iced coffee on campus, deodorant, a highlighter, whatever you need, they will have it. Lastly, on this floor, we have some of our electronic classrooms. These are areas you can rent out. Let's say you have a group study project, you can actually hook up your computer to like a larger screen, so that way you're not all huddled around one thing. Over here, once again, we'll be moving up to our second floor. That is our red zone. That is for silent studying. PACE understands students learn differently. So some need like absolute quiet. If you go up there and you open a bag of chips, you're gonna get some dirty looks. Up there, we also have the majority of our books. We have over 200,000 books at PACE, as well as access to the libraries of Columbia, NYU, Adelphi, and PACE New York City. So as a student, you're sure that you have access to a large variety of books and academic things for all of your classes. Lastly, we can move up to our third floor. That is our yellow zone. It's quiet conversation. You don't have to be silent, but you really can't talk like this. This is where our Learning Assistance Center is. It's a tutoring center. It is actually also run by the students. They're the ones tutoring you. These are students who have taken the classes. They had to get an A in the class and a recommendation letter from the professor, as well as take updated courses. So you know that they know what they're talking about. If you want to review for a test, maybe just get ready for the final, whatever it is, you can go to them. And if you're good, if you're smart classes, you can work there. That's all we have for Mortola. We're going to kick it over to the next stop.
Hi everyone, my name's Christina and I'm from New Jersey. Over here we have our beautiful Peyton House. On this top floor we have our wonderful career service building. This is going to be the first stop on your PACE path. These are going to be the career wizards that are going to help you with the internships, the clinicals, the practicum, and that post-grad position. They can help you build a resume. They can help you find interviews. They can help you prepare for those interviews. They're absolutely amazing. They also even have an interview closet where you could actually like borrow business casual clothes from them. They're like job fairy godmothers, and bippity boppity booyah, and you're ready for that interview. So amazing stuff over here. Downstairs we have university healthcare. So included in our tuition we do have university insurance. However, if you're already insured, you can actually waive that and save around $3,000 off your PACE bill. So what this means is we have 2 registered nurse practitioners. They can do everything that a doctor can besides physically hand you medication. So you can go there. They can also prescribe you medication. You can take that free shuttle into town and pick it up. You can make appointments. We also have walk-in hours. We also have 3 local hospitals nearby for bigger emergencies. So you know that PACE University's got you covered. Passing it off.
Here we are in Leonhardt Hall. This is our skills lab. As you can see, there's many realistic hospital beds, a bunch of technology that our students use to practice. They're essential skills as any nurse would need. As you can see, we have real blood pressure cuffs, ear scopes and whatnot, realistic beds, and a bunch of cool devices to help us learn the skills that we need to know. As you can see over here, we have one of our simulation mannequins. We have simulation mannequins ranging from all types of ages, from geriatrics, middle-aged, pediatrics, and infants. We have a sim mom who can also give birth to not only 1 baby, but 2. They're super realistic, as you can see. And this is where we practice stuff like putting in IVs, monitoring blood pressure, and anything like that. We also have really cool days when actors come in and they portray real patients. They even portray like family members and stuff, so our student nurses can learn how to deal with patients and deal with family members as well. We have an NCLEX pass rate of 90%, which is much higher than our state and national average, which we take pride in here at PACE. So once you come down here to our skills lab, you do move on to our other clinicals on site in the real hospitals. We start out with mental health nursing, then we go on to pediatrics, obstetrics, geriatrics, med-surg nursing, critical health, community health, you name it, it's definitely here at PACE. So once you leave, you will be well-rounded as a nurse and definitely pass that NCLEX. So thank you so much, and moving on to our next stop.
All right, guys, so here we are back again at Downstairs Kessel. Right behind you, you can see that this is our campus bookstore. That's basically where you get all your PACE merch like this shirt. Cool thing about our bookstore is that they do take flex dollars. Flex dollars is basically your meal plan money that you use to pay for restaurants outside of PACE, or as well as in this bookstore if you want to buy textbooks or, I don't know, a nice fancy PACE shirt. Cool thing about our bookstore is that they do a price match. So let's say you see a textbook online at Amazon or Barnes & Noble for cheaper, and they do have it here at the bookstore, you just bring it up right to them and they'll price match for you. They'll give you that price. Very nice. Cool thing about the bookstore too is that all the proceeds or money that they do raise or that they do get from students goes back into scholarships for the students here at PACE. So that's very nice. So they're always giving back to the community. So if you follow me right up here, we're actually gonna go ahead and see some of more of a downstairs Kessel. So right through here, as you guys can see, all of these colorful flags that are right behind us, this is basically takes up most of our fraternity and sorority like organizations here on campus. They are about 10 to 8% of the student population here on campus, so they have a presence, but not too big of a presence to where you have to feel like you have to join one of these organizations to be part of campus. They always put on events based on philanthropy and for the entire PACE community. It's always nice. They always like to have some free food for students to come in, so that's always a plus to do. I recommend going to this for the free food, as well as to help support the organizations and their goals. So that's what I got here about our fraternity and sorority life. Actually, right behind me is actually Kessel Cafe. So this is basically our main hub for food on campus. Right behind me, you do have the Setter's Grill. So that's basically pancakes, burgers, eggs, anything you kind of want made right there in front of you at any point of the day, you go to that station. You even have the hot food station tour. That's interchangeable about 3 times a day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You also do have a poke bowl station, as well as a hot food station for Asian food. You do have create your own pizza and pasta station, as well as a salad bar, vegan station, and even a yogurt station, which is basically a smoothies that are open Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Also, right behind by the Setter's Grill, we do have a Mexican food station to where you can get your tacos, burritos, or bowls. And actually, right on the other far side, you do have a Subway style shop place to where it's create your own subs or rolls. And you even have your finer dining to where if you want fancy grilled cheese or sometimes steak or calamari, PACE brings in outside vendors to make us those finer dining meal options. Probably wondering about our meal plan. Our meal plan is actually 1910. So 55 of that 1910 is actually the flex dollars I was talking about earlier. 1855 is all that you can use for all the food options right behind me. So again, it's debit credit card. If water costs $5, you go ahead, you swipe your PACE ID card, and it deducts $5 from that meal plan. So then you have 1850 left. So that's kind of cool how it is. Also, another cool thing about the meal plan is that if you have any excess money left over, because let's say you don't burn through the entire 1910 through that one semester, it carries over and over into your senior year. So as an underclassman, I really enjoy that because I was starting to get a lot of free meals around the springtime. But as a senior now, it looks like I'm gonna have to be buying everybody meals so I can get rid of my meal plan. So with all that said and done, that is downstairs Kessel, and we're actually gonna pass it off to the environmental center.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Ashley. I'm bringing you to my favorite place on campus, the environmental center. Right now, I'm on one of our nature trails, but I'm going to show you our environmental classroom as well. So PACE offers degrees for majors in environmental science and environmental studies, in addition to having one of the top-ranked environmental law programs in the entire country. For the students in these programs, there are tons of different research, volunteer, and work opportunities for them, such as working in the garden, tending to all the agriculture we do have. There are also many real-world experiences that these students can have, such as the environmental clinic. So that is a class where throughout the semester, students work on a bill that's related to the environment in some way, and then at the end of their semester, they have the opportunity to lobby for their bill at the state capitol in Albany. In fact, there was a bill that was passed a few years ago called the Elephant Bill that bans the use of elephants in any entertainment, such as movies, circuses, shows, anything like that in the state of New York. It was actually created and proposed by PACE University students, which is pretty cool that they have such a large impact on the real world as well. You don't have to be involved in these academic programs to get involved in the farm though. There's tons of different fit trails that I love to walk on, and I love to study in the outdoor classroom in my free time as well. So next, we're going to be moving on to Miller Hall.
Right now, we are in Miller Hall, one of our main academic buildings, in one of our active learning classrooms. In these classrooms, we have a bunch of technology to allow students to learn in the best way possible. The first piece of technology are these wonderful desks. Not only can they move side to side, but they can also rotate 360 degrees. This allows our students to look around the classroom at different parts where the professor wants them to. It also moves side to side and around the classroom to allow us to work in groups or in partners if the opportunity ever arises. Right here we have a smart podium. From this podium, the professors can control the entire technology of the classroom, as well as allow us to zoom over classes for our remote learning this semester. In addition to that, you'll notice that we have TV screens all around the classroom. This allows our professors to present their slideshows and videos and whatever else they want to show us. And this also allows students to view it no matter where they are sitting. You'll notice as we pan around that there are some TVs in the back of the classroom. This is so that the professor will never ever have their backs to you, but they'll only turn their back every once in a while. This also allows for shorter students sitting in the back of the classroom to just simply turn around and be able to see the presentation. The next piece of technology that I want to show you are these little globes hanging from the ceiling. This is called Pinap 2. It records the entire audio of the room as well as the visual front. So if you ever do unfortunately have to miss class, simply send an email to your professor and they'll turn it on, record the lecture, and then post it to our Blackboard system to allow you to view later when studying. In addition to all of that, our professors are super awesome because they know how to use all this technology. In addition to that, 90% of our professors have terminal degrees. What that means is they have the highest degrees available in their field. Also, 60% of our professors are adjuncts. And what that means is that when they're not teaching here at PACE, they're actively working in their field. So this way you're getting real life stories and real hands-on experience rather than just learning from a regular old textbook. In addition to all of that, during your first semester here at PACE, you're going to be taking a freshman year course called University 101. This is taught by your academic advisor, and this course is essentially a how to be a college student course. You'll hear about all the different resources that we've talked about here today on tour, as well as some other ones that we didn't unfortunately get to. That being said, your academic advisor is always there for you and major specific to you. So they really know the ins and outs of your major. They're not the kind of advisor who can handle all multiple majors. They really know your major and they're going to get to know you on a personal level through your University 101 course. Well, that's it for here at Miller Hall, sending it off to our next.
Thank you everyone for watching our virtual tour here of the PACE University Westchester campus. We hope you had a great time watching and getting to explore a little bit about what our Westchester campus has to offer to all of you. We hope to see you on campus in the very near future, but for the meantime, if you do want to schedule a virtual tour, get to meet with our staff here at the Welcome Center, please feel free to visit www.pace.edu/explore to see all of our current tour offerings. Additionally, please follow us on Instagram at PacePLV_welcome to stay up to date with all things Welcome Center. We look forward to seeing you all on campus in the very near future. Go Setters, we'll see you soon.